Hey guys, we just came out of the Marvel Studios panel over in Hall H here at Comic-Con, and we saw ourselves a little bit of footage from Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Now, first, though, tell the folks who showed up for Ant-Man.
Oh, so Ant-Man, it was the director.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed. It was Paul Rudd, who plays Scott Lang Ant-Man. It was
Right.
Michael Douglas, who plays Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man in this version of events. And Evangeline Lilly, who we now know plays Hank Pym's daughter.
Hope Van Dyne, or that's how Douglas said Hope Van Dyne, which is the Wasp's last name, but then she said she plays Hope Pym,
So, yeah, but there's no mention of the Wasp, so
Yeah.
we're wondering what's going on
we've
with
got
that.
some speculation, some theories about that, but maybe that's
Yeah.
a conversation for another time.
And Corey Stoll was also there, and he's playing the villain Yellow Jacket.
Yeah,
so
who in this, he was a combination of Darren Cross, who was the villain in the first ever appearance of Scott Lang's Ant-Man in Marvel premiere, I think 47 and 48, and he's a different version of it, and he's described by Douglas and by Stoll as being sort of Hank Pym's protege, his star pupil, who ends up taking over Hank Pym's company, and has a bad agenda, of course, hence a villain.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting is that the sequence that they showed was something that they had. The movie doesn't start filming until another 2 weeks in Atlanta, but they did have a little something put together for Comic-Con, and it basically showed Ant-Man in ant-sized form running around the streets of Atlanta.
It was great. I mean, it was freaking awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It was this Ant-Man, the Paul Rudd Ant-Man, riding around on a flying ant. I mean, you know, like, this is Ant-Man.
And he's got Hank Pym basically in his ear giving him instructions.
Right.
And basically, there was a very revealing bit, though. At the very beginning, where kind of the camera's just kind of snaking through the lab, and we see the Ant-Man helmet. And it's silver. It's not the red and black like we saw in the earlier incarnations. And Hank Pym has a line where he says that superheroes are a goddamn joke.
Basically,
that's quoting him. Yeah. And it made us wonder, like, what made him, the original Ant-Man, come to believe that. We have some theories. Again, that's a conversation for another time. But, you know, it was great to see the cast out there, and they could finally just talk openly.
Yep.
And, you know, we did recently have a couple of actors leave the project. Patrick Wilson, now no longer involved, and a couple of other actors, supporting cast, have been written out of the new script.
And apparently Evangeline Lilly hasn't even seen a script lately.
That was another one. She was like, I haven't read it
But
yet.
aside from that, they didn't really talk about any of the kind of scandal behind the film.
Yeah,
the fact that Edgar Wright's off the project and the rest of it.
And they didn't take questions from the crowd, so they basically dodged the Edgar Wright bullet. But judging from the fan reaction, the chants in the hall before the panel even started,
they don't even remember who Edgar Wright is at this point.
Nobody booed. It was very classy, though. I did like, there were no real audible boos.
No.
Peyton Reed.
No.
I mean, it did seem like they've accepted it and moved on. So, but Ant-Man looks pretty cool. Definitely has that kind of caper vibe to it, but a superhero caper.
Yeah, totally.
And you know, we can't wait to see more of the movie. It comes up next summer of 2015.
Yeah. It'll probably be at next year's Comic-Con, too.
Comic-Con, we'll finally have some more. So, guys, keep it locked here to IGN for more on Ant-Man. Thanks for watching.